Poland has inaugurated its six-month presidency of the European Community. Since the 1st of January, Poland, at least on paper, is leading the European Union. Surprisingly, there were no celebrations. Only today a special gala is to be held. As it turns out, a special summit of EU leaders was to be held in Warsaw, but Prime Minister Tusk did not agree to it. Donald Tusk's government did not want President Andrzej Duda to greet EU leaders and host such a meeting, so they preferred to cancel the summit. If indeed Donald Tusk's motivation was to give the Polish president a slap on the face, then we are dealing with an absolute scandal, with a situation that is a betrayal of Polish national interests, and I think it should be evaluated in a very critical way by the Polish people. The question is, why the Prime Minister cared so much about this? Perhaps because President Andrzej Duda is betting on cooperation with the United States, which he openly spoke about during his New Year's address. We in Poland know very well that there is no safe Europe without the involvement of the United States, both military and economic involvement, which is why the first priority of the Polish presidency of the European Union, which begins on January 1st, is to strengthen cooperation between the European Union and the U.S. Prime Minister Tusk, on the other hand, has strained relations with America. Contrary to his political hopes, the U.S. election was won by Donald Trump, whom the Polish Prime Minister, as well as his smiling entourage, have repeatedly insulted. Trump and his dependence on Russian services today is no longer disputable. This is not my speculation. It is confirmed by the U.S. services that Trump was even recruited by the Russian services 30 years ago. Prime Minister Tusk has been pursuing a policy in line with Berlin's interests for years. Germany, on the other hand, seeks to push the United States out of Europe, which is the guarantor of Polish security. I think everyone realizes that defending Europe without the U.S. is impossible, especially with this distribution of military power between France and Germany. Poland is the country that has been able to spend more than 4% of GDP on the military. We have already witnessed the implementation of this harmful policy during the first civic platform governments, when Prime Minister Tusk pioneered a reset with Russia at Berlin's behest. We want dialogue with Russia as it is. Lack of dialogue serves neither Poland nor Russia. It spoils the interest and reputation of both countries on the international arena. One of the symbols of the reset policy was Prime Minister Tusk's sabotage of the construction of the U.S. missile shield. The head of the Polish government, under pressure from Vladimir Putin, did everything he could to get the Americans to abandon the project, such as by arguing that the shield would not enhance Polish security. Installation without the additional elements we are talking about, so modernization, but also other types of cooperation and such political security guarantees, in our opinion, does not increase the security. And today, the illegitimate TVP, which is run by people on Prime Minister Tusk's watch, is promoting the narrative that a greater threat than the criminal Putin is the legally elected President Donald Trump. We have more unpredictable people, not only Putin. Putin is relatively predictable. What we in Europe are afraid of, after all, is this unpredictability of Donald Trump, who takes over the reign in the U.S. on the 20th of January. The United States is the world's greatest superpower, which in an era of Russian imperialism is the guarantor of our security. As a symbol of Prime Minister Tusk's strained relations with President Trump, the head of government was not invited to the swearing-in of the new U.S. president. It seems that under Prime Minister Tusk's leadership, Poland will be marginalized. However, until we accept this primacy of U.S. leadership, not so much in the world, but also in this part of Europe. Poles don't want to be in the shadows, and that's why the nation is organizing itself. Together with TV Republica, you can be in Washington, D.C. for the swearing-in of President Donald Trump. Especially for our viewers, there will be a conference and a unique Polish-American inauguration banquet. One of the hosts of the debate will be the legendary American journalist Rita Cosby. All detailed information can be found at www.trump2025.pl.